Hi, here we are, I guess. Uh, I'm very tired today. I'm sorry. Um, oh goodness! Coyote!
Finally, the golden Mikan. After all these years, tally L1EEE.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I'm sorry if the audio for that was fucked up. I didn't realize I had my thing. Oh my god! Oh my god. Everybody's resubbing. Bonnie! Bonnie, what monster lady from O's? Because there's. Is it Missoul? Were there other monster ladies in O's? There's probably some girls that had yummies, but I know there's Missoul, fish lady, whole ass orca for a head, fucking powerful, so fucking powerful. Hi Bonnie, Coyote and Drez, thank you for the resubs. It's been kind of a weird day for me. Um, I mean, okay, no, Missoul, her human body is because I don't know why she like picked a 16-year-old, but Mizul the monster girl is not underage. Um Mizul the monster girl, like monster girl fish lady orca head is not underage. Human body, yes. I think the actress that played her human form was like 16. But Mizul the monster was not. Mizul wasn't even the last one created, I think. I don't know what in context they caused. Like, I don't know why any of them in context chose the human they did, except for Ankh, but, I don't know, Toei just keeps fucking hiring 16-year-olds. Is the thing. I don't know why they keep doing that. Forza it made sense because they were in high school, but I don't know. This is just a thing they keep doing. They've apparently been doing it since the 70s. Based on how many fucking people I had to put in the "that is a child" category when I did the Sentai Smasher Pass. Hi, Hero Girls. How's everybody doing today? How are we doing? How is everybody doing today? Nice. I'm not doing commission today because I didn't contact anyone about which ones I'm gonna do next. Um, I just had lunch. I had chazuke and a sandwich and an apple. But I did eat. Proud of myself for that, Coyote. You have something tasty. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Bonnie. I'll draw your Neko OC. Um, anyway, what I'm working on today, I've had this, like, fucking sitting here for however fucking long. Um, speaking of fucking monster ladies that I would let do things to me. I've got this Scorpio and Echidna thing that I've had sitting here for a while, and I think I'm just gonna keep inking it. What fucking brush was I using? I think I was using the real G Pen brush. I think that's what I was using. Um, yeah, like the Knuckles. Echidna the Knuckles. Yeah, absolutely. Fucking, I love Knuckles. I love every Sonic character. Why are they all so fucking good? Do I have any art of my Sonic OC? Have y'all seen my Sonic OC that I've had for maybe like 2 years because I made a Sonic OC in my 30s because I didn't care about being cringe anymore? Bonnie, have you never seen my Sonic OC? Where is my art of her? I know I posted her on Twitter once. I did post her on Twitter once. So you may have seen her there. But I will. Where is? I don't. know if I have any art on this computer of her. Hold on. I'm gonna grab some. Uh, uh, I want to show you all my very cool Sonic OC. She's very cool and I love her very, very much. Here we go. This is a good one. This is a good one. Okay, I guess it's gonna be small. Hold on. Can I? I want to show y'all my very cool Sonic OC. Why do I not have fucking... Okay, here we go. We'll just do this. This is my very cool Sonic the Hedgehog OC, Vineyard the Cat. She owns a casino in Casino Night Zone, drinks wine, and is sometimes wandering through the background of shit that's happening. She has big titties and dates Rouge the Bat. Which is, hold on, where's that one? I can show y'all, Oh, why is this one so small? Why do I not have a bigger version of this? Why do I not have a bigger version of this? There we go. There's her and Rouge the Bat. Drinking, having a good time together. I don't know why I don't have a bigger version of this. I probably do somewhere. I just don't feel like digging around for it, so I'm like pulling these off of old blogs. If you have a Sonic OC though, you should show them to me, because I might... I like Sonic OCs. They're cool. Sonic OCs are cool. You're a cool person if you have a Sonic OC. Don't let the internet fucking lie to you. But yeah, this is my very, very cool Sonic OC, Vineyard the Cat. She drinks a lot. Bonnie, that makes you cool, because that means you've been cool for years then. Bonnie, that just means you've been cool for years, if you made your Sonic OC years ago. That just means you've been cool for a really long time. I've only been cool for what, like 3 years? I've only been cool for like 3 years. Because that's how long I've had a Sonic OC. I didn't have one as a kid. I wasn't making Sonic OCs when everyone else was making Sonic OCs. Because I was a coward. Okay, yeah, that looks right. Because I was a fucking coward. But now I have a Sonic OC and I'm cool. Let me put on some fucking tunes. Let me put on some goddamn tunes. Oh, I gotta unmute it. Turn it down a little. There we go. Gridman! Love Gridman. Whew. Okay, so how's everybody? How are we? How are we doing? What have y'all been up to? What have y'all been up to since Sunday? I think Sunday was the last time I saw you. What have you been up to? Have you been good? Have you been good? If you've been good, I'll take you to McDonald's. If you've been good, I'll take you to McDonald's. Good man. Well, McDonald's is closer. Fine, no McDonald's for you, Coyote. You can sit in the timeout corner. What have y'all been up to? You done anything fun? You been doing anything cool and fun? I am a. If I am the one driving, I am a drives up and orders a black coffee. Reading, are you reading anything good? What are you reading? I haven't read a book in so fucking long. I haven't read a book in so goddamn long. I can't read anymore. Um, I like God, my like ADHD is so fucking bad that I like can't read. Yeah, I used to listen to audiobooks a lot when I commuted. I listened to audiobooks a lot when I commuted. But I have not. I would listen to a lot of memoirs. I listened to a lot of memoirs back then. Ooh, you nice. What you got lined up? I've got a bunch of things lined up. I just need to like fucking talk to people. Um I want to do some of my like non-live 2D model ones. Ooh, neat. Ooh, fun stuff. I want to do some of my smaller like non-live 2D model ones before I get back to the live 2D models I've got lined up. Just because live 2D models take a while, and things that aren't live 2D models are a lot quicker to get through. So I want to do some of the smaller ones and get those squared away. But I need to get some information on the cons that I've got lined up. So, ooh, a wrestler autobiography. Of who? What wrestler? Ooh, interesting. I have not I have not read a book or watched a fucking anime in so long. I'm so out of like touch right now. I'm feeling very out of touch. Uh, well, sometimes do be like that. What am I doing? I mean, what I'm doing mostly is trying to get back into my schedule and having my schedule, like, work with me instead of against me. Also, I will be back on later tonight. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming right now, but I am going to be back on later tonight around 8-ish. So, like, 5 hours from now, doing Palace of the Dead in Final Fantasy XIV. But I figured since that was so late, and it probably, I don't know how long it'll be, that I might as well also stream now. So here I am, I guess. I hate drawing hands. Oh god, why did Mix It Up just, like, flip out on me? Yeah, I've stretched myself a little bit thin this week. So I am not going to be streaming on Sunday, because I decided to make plans with a friend of mine. I decided to get the fuck out of my house. Because I stretched myself a little thin, and I'm trying to do too many things at once. I'm trying to do too many things at once. Cause I'm trying to get caught up on all of the rewards for the Donathon, which is gonna happen. I promise. But I'm working on that. I'm trying to get caught up on all of that. No, I am not fucking trying to convert
get so
Emmy
tilted
Ringo
at
to
the
good.
towers.
I do get so tilted at the towers. I'm not trying to convert Emmy Ringo to good. Fuck that bitch. Fuck her. No, fuck Nana too. She's also a bitch. There is no saving either of them. Why does Mix It Up keep freaking out? Or is it... Oh, hold on, I know what it is. There we go. That's what's freaking out. Okay. Damn, I don't know, because everyone in Hades is hot. So I don't know why they wouldn't just make them all fuckable. Because that kind of seems like what that game is about. Aside from all of the, like, dying. No, Mix It Up is still freaking out. I don't know why it's freaking out, but it is. Okay. Damn! Really? I would have thought it was at least 5. I would have thought it was at least 5, because that game is definitely, like... I don't know. That game is just, it's very, like... We're gonna make everyone hot, and we're definitely gonna write them so, like, we're intending you to get a crush on a bunch of them. Like, just let us fuck them. Why is Mix It Up freaking out? It's, like, really, it's genuinely really distracting. There we go. So I'm thinking about, trying to speedrun Stray. I don't know if that's, like, a thing. I want to play that game more. It was really good. I want to get better at it. Oh man, have y'all seen the Nier thing? Have y'all seen the thing with the church in Nier that may or may not be real? I don't know anything about Nier. I've never played Nier. But I've been watching that unfold over the past couple of days, and I don't know anything about Nier, but I do love weird discoveries in video games and weird shit, so I've been following that the past couple of days. And that has been wild to watch. Okay, so apparently the other day, or like a month ago, someone posted on Reddit and was like, hey, how do you unlock the church in the copied city in Nier? My friend hasn't been able to do it. And they like showed where it is for them. And everyone's like, what the fuck? This is not a thing anyone has ever seen before. And they're trying to figure out if it's a hoax or like a thing someone has modded in. But the way that they've shown it, it seems to be so far beyond the capabilities of modders at the moment. And one of my friends suggested it might be a thing that they just, like, built themselves and then put an overlay over. Like, the actual game UI. But I have no idea. I don't know enough about Nier to, like, know what that is. And people have been, like, trying to figure out, like, if this is just a really old, like, from disk, unpatched version of the game, and this was something that was taken out, like, immediately on, like, a launch patch. And just no one can figure it out at the moment, as far as I know, as far as the last things that I've seen. Yeah, and the thing is, like, people have asked Yoko Taro, and he's just like, if you want my insight, this is what my insight is, and like doesn't fucking say anything, which is a very Yoko Taro way to be handling the situation. Instead of just giving an answer. He is deeply chaotic, and I respect that. I respect Yoko Taro's absolute fucking chaos. The absolute fucking chaos of Yoko Taro is a thing that I have a deep respect for. There's a theory that this is an ARG used to... I have seen that theory, and this does feel a bit like some of the... This doesn't not feel like an ARG, because ARGs are things that I understand because I enjoy them. I enjoy analysis of ARGs, so I have a kind of an understanding of the structure, and this doesn't feel unlike an ARG, so if it... I have seen some people saying that it could be an ARG for the Switch port, which doesn't make sense to me, because the kid... Whoever is doing this says they're playing it on PS4, so it feels weird to have this be a thing about the Switch, but for a new installment of the game, for like a new Nier game, that feels possible. But it's hard to say. I know very little about Nier. The most I know about Nier is anything from the raid in Final Fantasy XIV. From the Shadowbringers Alliance raid. That's about as much as I know about Nier. I do not know jack shit about Nier, to be totally honest. But I love weird video game shit, so this has been kind of fascinating to watch unfold. If you're into that kind of thing, definitely look it up. It's wild and interesting. It's something that I will definitely be keeping an eye on. And we'll hopefully there will be some fun analysis videos for it in the future. Yes. Nier is a video game that people play. And that's about the extent of my knowledge. I know it's about androids and that it's very existential. And that's okay, I don't know what that was. Am I back? Am I back? Can you hear me? Oh god, fucking Yoko Taro. Yoko Taro came for me. Okay, we're back and you can hear me? Okay, don't know what that was about. But it's fine. It shouldn't be the microwave. It shouldn't be that. I mean, we haven't, like, long-term solved that problem, but we've thus far solved it in the way of we just don't use it while I'm streaming. I have heard very good things about Nier. I'm not sure Nier is a game that is my style. I'm not sure if Nier is a game for me, but I think the art is pretty. I like the character designs. I like the costuming. So I can appreciate Nier on that level. I'm believe it or not, I'm not actually much of like a gamer. I'm not good at video games. I love video games, I'm just not good at them. So I don't actually like play a lot of video games. But we're gonna play more Pokemon. We're gonna play Pokemon, we're gonna play Breath of the Wild 2 when that comes out. So, you know, we'll probably play Stray again. I do want to 100% Stray. I definitely want to. I want to go through. I want to 100% it because it's a really good game. I may try to learn to speedrun it if speedrun routes start appearing. We'll see. We'll see. But I definitely want to at least go back and try and like 100% it. Okay. There we go. But you know, we're gonna play Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild was a game that I really loved. It was actually the first game that I ever streamed. I streamed a little bit of Breath of the Wild way back when. There's still there's like one or two clips if you look on my clips page. There's like one or two clips from when I was playing Breath of the Wild. Way back before I was a VTuber. So we'll definitely play Breath of the Wild 2. We're definitely gonna play Scarlet in November. We're gonna play Pokemon Scarlet. So we're still gonna game. We're gonna play more Minecraft. We're going to continue to participate in the Minecraft server. But I don't know, my art streams do a lot better than my gaming streams. So I wanna put more emphasis on my art streams. I really want to get into the Gunpla and other model kit streams. I wanna do more of that. I've got my entire fucking pile of these that we're gonna start soon. This week was not a good week for it. This week was not the week, but those will be soon. We will be starting those in the near future. So just I'm just, we're gonna have new content, fun content. I'm working on editing clips for YouTube. I have some pre-recorded stuff I want to do for YouTube. And by pre-recorded, I mean it will not be live. I haven't recorded it yet, though. But yeah, just, content. Content is coming. Content is coming. We are doing it. The thing is happening. Just trying to figure out, like, where I should be working at the moment. But yeah, there's gonna be more art streams, model kit streams. Friday, we are finally doing the Eat a Bag stream. I think. Hold on, let me check something real quick. Let me just check on something real quick. The plan is to do it on Friday. Okay, yes. As far as I can tell, Friday we are finally doing the Grahatia Eat a Bag stream that I promised forever ago. That Drez bought the bag for off my throne and had sent to me. And I finally got safety pins. The safety pins should be at my house today. So the Graha Eat a Bag stream will be on Friday. So that's happening. So I hope y'all are looking forward to that. If you like Grahatia, you can see all of my Grahatia stuff that I got at Anime NYC last year. Haven't really added anything to that collection because I have not been spending much money on frivolous things. Or at least I'm trying not to. Which involves not going to Etsy and buying, like, every Grahatia thing that's there that I don't already have. But yes, that will be Friday. If you want, I will also, on Friday, show you my other two Eat a Bags. I have one for Narumi and Shroud from Kamen Rider Double. I have a little skull shroud, Eat a Bag, and then I have a Medusa rider from Fate, Stay Night. I have one for her. And I will show you those if you want to see them. On Friday, not today. Die in no guts. Yes, she's my waifu. Ryder is the one who got me to enlist in the waifu wars. I love her. She's a good girl. Ah, that's Iskandar in Fate Zero. He was cool. He was cool. I didn't watch Fate Zero, but I like him. Pen. DNA. Here we go. I'm not like super into Fate, but I'm not into Fate. I played Fate Go for a while. I like today's menu for the Emiya house. That's my favorite Fate property. I have seen. I watched Unlimited Blade Works when that was airing a handful of years ago. And I feel like I saw 2 of the 3 Heaven's Feel movies. I don't think I saw the first one. I think I saw the second and third ones. I'm pretty sure I didn't see the first one. But I like Fate. I love the concept of Fate. I'm not good at I don't often get super into things that would bum me out. Is I guess a way of putting it. I'm not always great with stuff that's super heavy. Not necessarily I'm actually better with stuff that is melodrama than actual drama. Because the heightened state of melodrama often makes it feel less real, and therefore I can get with it a little more. But some stuff that is melodrama is a little too much. Just stuff that's a bummer is the thing. Stuff that it has a lot of people dying and is a bummer. The large percentage of bummer in it is a little difficult for me. Yeah, and not it's complicated because sometimes I can like okay, here's an example. Um I've never watched Ava. I've seen the movie End of Evangelion, which was in a college class. Um but Evangelion is deeply melodrama. But also it is so existential in its drama and its tragedy that it's just a thing where I'm like, my mental health is incompatible with this. And I love the character designs in Ava. I love the everything designs in Ava, and I have a lot of respect for Ava as a property. But it's just been never something that I could watch, and it's kind of the same way with Fate, where I love all of the character designs in Fate. I love Fate conceptually. Fate just, in a lot of ways, gets, especially in Unlimited Blade Works and Heaven's Feel, gets a little too heavy for me. Especially Heaven's Feel. Heaven's Feel is a lot. There's a lot to deal with in Heaven's Feel. But I still love Fate, and I love a lot of spin-off Fate properties for that reason. It's why, yeah, a lot is an understatement with fucking Heaven's Feel. But it's why today's menu is like my favorite Fate property, because it's like, oh, this is the one where we just chill the fuck out for a little while. This is the hey kids, can you lighten up a bit version of Fate. And I mean, this is a weird thing to say about myself, because like, I'm thinking about this as I'm listening to Round Zero. Like, Blade is one of my favorite Kamen Riders, and Blade is deeply tragic and existential. But I think because Blade is so front loaded with kind of absurdism and comedy, and I know that there's the writer switch halfway through Blade, but even that, like, I don't think that's, it is a factor in why the second half of Blade is the way it is, but I still think that even if Shoaikawa had written all of Blade, the first half still would have been this much lighter thing. Because that is how Shoaikawa tends to structure his narratives, is he has this really disarming, Takahashi Yuya does the same thing. He has this very, very disarming, goofy first half, and will then, like, emotionally beat you half to death in the second half. That's just how the two of them write, and I kind of love that about them. I kind of love that for them. But, like, I was never able to experience Fate or Ava that way, because they were already, by the time I was coming to them, they were already these, like, huge, deeply well-known properties that had these reputations. So even the lighter stuff in the beginning of Fate, I don't know about Ava, but I just never got to experience it that way. Which is, like, kind of part of an effort, part of why I make such an effort to go into things with as little information as possible. There are other reasons. There are several reasons as to why I'm like this, but that's part of it, in that I want to be able to have those experiences. why Elements has always reminded me of, like, 2Mix. Like, songs from Gundam Wing. I don't know why Elements has always sounded that way to me. And 2Mix fucking kicks ass. But I have always felt Round Zero was the better Kamen Rider Blade opening. Oops. That's my one Kamen Rider hot take, is that Round Zero is better than Elements. And I like Elements. Elements is really good. I think Round Zero is a better opening. That's my big Kamen Rider hot take. I mean, my big Kamen Rider hot take is that Kamen Rider Gaim isn't very good, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just my taste. That's just my taste in the fact that I don't like Gen Urobuchi's writing, so... Come on. Sometimes you just gotta turn your canvas around. Sometimes you just gotta 180 your whole fucking canvas. You know? Sometimes you just gotta 180 the whole canvas to get that line right. Oops. I'm sure if you've ever done a digital art, you understand that feel. Just turning your whole damn canvas around. Is my cat here? He is! Hello, baby. Hello. Yeah, I went for a little walk earlier. He didn't come with me. It's too hot. I'm gonna stop taking him in the summer. I think the heat is too much for him. I worry about the heat being too much and him overheating. So I'm gonna take him in the like in the fall. We'll go for walks more often. Cause he's a good boy and he loves going for walks. It gets too hot out there for him. He's got a lot of fur. He's got a lot of fur. He's a very fluffy boy. The, 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 on the East Coast, and it's also really fucking hot here. I assure you, it's better today. Yesterday and today are a little better than it has been. But last week was a fucking nightmare. Last week was fucking awful. Hmm. Like it was bad here. The, it wasn't the temperature wasn't super high, but it was so humid that it was like unbearable cuz the temperature was like 88, 90, which is hot, but it was so on top of that heat, it was so humid that it was just absolutely fucking unbearable. Okay, that's part of the couch. And like I live right by the ocean, so I am dealing with salty humidity. Not only is it humid where I live, there is salt in the humidity. Like the humidity is salt water, which is disgusting. Ba-da-ba-ba. Let's zoom back out for a second. Okay, I've gotten a little bit done. A little bit has been accomplished. Splash, yellow thunder. Hmm. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting somewhere. Oh. Why did my brush get weird? There we go. Sometimes I will just lose pen pressure, like, completely at random. And my brush will just go very funky. Let's see, where am I? Okay. Trying to think of topics topics of conversation. Things to speak about. I'm sure there are things. There's always a lot going on. How did I get into Toku? Okay, this is a pretty funny story actually. Okay. So, around the time that I was in the process of graduating college, my bachelor's degree is in comics and comics production. So at the time, I was in the process of planning and starting a comic with my roommate at the time, my friend who I lived with. Less of a roommate situation and more that him and his mother let me crash in their apartment for like 2 years. But we were starting this comic, and it was primarily a magical girl comic, but we wanted to work in like other Japanese hero genres because we're both we're both very nerdy, and that's kind of our wheelhouse. But I knew about Kamen Rider, and I knew about Sentai, and I knew about Ultraman, but I hadn't really watched any. I just knew of them because I had been into Power Rangers as a kid, but that was back during Mighty Morphin. But we were planning this comic, and we were starting work on it, and there was a like a recurring secondary character that was essentially a Kamen Rider parody. And I'm like, okay, if we're going to be making jokes about Kamen Rider and Sentai, I should probably, I'll watch one or two of them. And my friends of mine had been getting into it. So I go to my one friend and I'm like, hey, what what should I do? And they had been trying get me into it for a little while, but I was in the process of graduating college, and I was not in a situation where I had time to spare getting into things. But after I graduated, because this was right up against me graduating, this was the last couple of months of my senior year of college. After I graduated, my one friend showed me a magazine scan from the currently airing Kamen Rider. And was like, this seems like it would be very much your speed. And what that was a magazine scan of was the first appearance of Shroud in Kamen Rider Double, and it was her. And there was another thing that was like right below it that was Mick. And I looked at her. I looked at Shroud. Looked at this magazine image, very, very low quality magazine image of Shroud. And I'm like, damn, that's exactly fucking my speed. Put this in front of me, and I'll watch it. So that's how I got into Kamen Rider. And at that point, like, I fell face first into Kamen Rider. I fell into Double hard. I was super into it. And this was, at the time I finally got around to start watching it, it was a decent chunk into O's. So by the time I was finishing it, O's was ending. O's was in the process of ending. And I didn't know anything about O's. People were talking about it, but I didn't really know anything about it. But word was starting to come out about Fourze. And that it was being written by Kazuki Nakashima, who wrote Gurren Lagann. And I'm like, shit, I fucking love Gurren Lagann. This dipshit has a pompadour and he's goofy. Yeah, absolutely. I'll watch this. This also feels very much my speed. So then I was watching Fourze while it was airing, and I was at that time also watching O's. So I was catching up on O's as Fourze was coming out. So I did double O's and Fourze. And also, in that time, while I was watching those, another friend of mine showed me a YouTube video that was a stop motion... someone like stop motion putting together Engine OG-12. Like, it was all of the engines, and it constructed Engine-O, and then Gunboro, and then it was Engine OG-6, and all the way to G-12. And I looked at this thing, and I'm like, I need fucking context for this goddamn robot. So then I watched Go Onger. And I loved Go Onger. And then I think I watched Deca Ranger after that, and then Bokenger. And I'm like, fuck, I love Super Sentai. So that's how I got into Rider and Sentai, and it then took me another fucking decade to get around to Ultraman. But at the time I was working a desk job where I had about 2 hours of work in an 8-hour day, and my boss didn't care what I did with the rest of my time because my work got done. So I watched all of Heisei Kamen Rider and Super Sentai from, Kuga all the way to, I think about halfway through Gaim, because I ended up dropping Gaim. And then, Abba Ranger all the way through Ryu Soldier. Not Ryu Soldier. Kyoryuger. Sorry, I mix them up a lot. I keep wanting to say Ryu Soldier because it's the good one. So, 2000 to 2015, damn near everything that came out during that time, I watched in the, 4 years that I was working there. 4 or 5 years I was working there. I think 4 years because I don't think the first year I was working there I really had the time to watch something because I was in a slightly different work position then. And then a year ago I started watching Ultraman. And now I like that a lot too. But yeah, Kazuki Nakashima did Fourze, and at the time, there's the big arc in the middle of Fourze where he died, where look, it's a spoiler alert, but the show was in 2011, so the show was a fucking decade ago. Where Gentaro dies. And because it was Kazuki Nakashima, and because Gentaro had a very, had like a very Kamina quality to him, for the week between those episodes, the entire circle of the fandom that I was in was like, shit, is he gonna come back? It's like, are we Gurren Laganning this? And he's like, is Kengo gonna take over? If you're not just fucking with me, I'm sorry, but also the show is 10 years old, so, you know, what am I gonna do? But, you know, there was a contingency of us. Damn, I'm sorry then. Shit. Sorry. Well, I'm very sorry then. I apologize. Damn, that's not how this. Okay, yeah. I mean, like, it was a big deal. The thing is, like, it's not a thing that people really talk about, as time has gone on, because it doesn't have a long-term effect on the show. So I genuinely don't know if that was a thing that was generally in the public knowledge about it, but also, like, the show is 10 years old at this point. The thing is, it's not actually a major plot point. It's a significant plot point in the, like, 2 to 3 episodes. Yeah. It is a significant plot point in the 2 to 3 episodes that it's a plot point, and there's some stuff that is kind of messily handled because of it later on. Oh, hey, Wade. Hey, how's it going? That's okay. We're just chilling. I'm drawing some Q Ranger fan art, because I'm gay. Thank you. That's how I got here. That's how I got here. And now here I am. I saw that one magazine scan and never fucking turned back. I saw that one magazine scan and made it my whole fucking brand for the next goddamn decade of my life. As gay as I am, this is actually like a not very gay fan art because it's actually surprisingly hetero, but, you know, whatever. But I'm gay and love Echidna. So here I am. But I also have a thing where I will like 2 characters and then I'll think they're both attractive. And I will want them to kiss. And that's pretty much how I got here. Yeah! Ichi! It's always, it's Echidna all day, every day with me. That's just how it is. All day, every day is Echidna time for me. Because she's beautiful. She's beautiful and has fucked up my life. Just irrevocably ruined my whole life. Because she's all I can think about. I am a shipper of culture and have been for many years. I will pick 2 characters that only I care about, that no one but me on the face of this fucking earth cares about, and I'll want them to kiss. Though, there is a Scorpio Echidna fanfiction on AO3 that was not written by me. I did not write that one. That is not my AO3 account. My AO3 account is findable, though. I have one, and it's there. You just have to know what I'm into, which is not a thing I'm quiet about. You should have figured it out by now. This isn't hard. Folks, this is not hard to figure out. It's there. If you think about anything that I just said, you can find it. I do have Q Ranger fanfiction that is about Echidna, though. I just haven't finished it. And I haven't gotten to the part with Scorpio yet. So. Will I ever? Who knows? Because I haven't done any writing in fucking forever. Because I'm doing too many other things with my life. And, you know, not a lot of people would read them because I write them for me. Because I am the only one who gives even a little bit of a shit about the characters that I want to read about. That has just been my fandom experience pretty much my whole life. Pretty much been my fandom experience the whole time. I bet if you're not Drez, you would never be able to guess my favorite characters in Gaim. The only characters in Gaim that I vaguely had any emotional connection with. Who are technically more than one character, but are basically one character. You'd never guess, because I don't think you would actually... Even if you watched all of Gaim, and were really into it, I just don't think... No. I just don't think you would know those characters' names. Because they're not characters that anyone other than me gave a shit about. Did anyone like Sagara? Is there anyone that liked him? At all? And, like, not in the way of, like, oh, he's a good villain, just, like, did anyone enjoy his presence? I don't even know if he, like, really even counts as a fucking villain, is the thing. See, like, I didn't even get far enough in the show to really know, like, what he did long term. Cause, like, at the time that I dropped the show, he really was not even doing anything. He existed, and he was kind of, I guess, starting to do things, but he really was not doing anything. I mean, I guess my favorite relevant Gaim character was Takatora, but then they fucked that up so badly that I dropped the show. So, I just don't like Gen Urobuchi's writing. That's what it comes down to in the end, is I just don't like Gen Urobuchi's writing style. I think he is far too cynical of a human being to be writing hero shows. I don't know if everything I've seen that he's written that is not a hero show, I found boring. Except Fate Zero, I dropped that because nothing to do with the writing. I just only watched the first episode, and I couldn't tell the two main guys who weren't Waver. I couldn't tell them apart. And I know one of them's hair turned white, like, immediately after that, but it was just really hard to follow for me, so I was just like, I'm not gonna bother with this. Because at the time, I was, like, not into Fate at all. So, I just never got about. Yeah, the two guys who aren't Waver, I could not tell them apart in the first episode, and it made it really hard to follow. And I had no other knowledge of Fate at the time, and I just didn't want to keep watching it. And I mean, like, look, I can get that because everyone in Kamen Rider Blade had the same haircut. I don't think any of the four of them look even remotely alike, but they do all have the same haircut. Roughly. So, you know. What you gonna do? Yeah, I am genuinely... Okay, my thing with Gen Urobuchi is he watched Kamen Rider Ryuki and missed the point, and then keeps trying to write what he thinks Ryuki was about. And that's what happens when he writes hero shows. Him writing hero shows, this is true of both Madoka and Gaim, and this is not me assuming because he has said this on interview about Madoka, that he lifted parts of Ryuki for it. That man does not know what Kamen Rider Ryuki is about. And if you like Gaim, that is great. I am glad people were able to take something good away from that show. I just wasn't. But this is not a positive or negative statement. It is just Gen Urobuchi does not know what Kamen Rider Ryuki is about, and keeps, every time he writes a hero show, it is him writing what he thinks Kamen Rider Ryuki is about. And that is my opinion of Gen Urobuchi. I'm not a huge fan of Madoka either, but I also have not watched all of it because, again, I just don't jive with his writing. It says nothing on the quality of Madoka. I have no opinion as to whether Madoka is good or bad. I don't think I'm qualified to have that opinion because I have not seen that much of it. But one thing I am very certain of is that Gen Urobuchi does not know what Kamen Rider Ryuki is about. Kamen Rider Ryuki is about breaking cycles of abuse. Kamen Rider Ryuki is about how good people can get scared and do things things that are genuinely pretty bad because they are desperate and scared. And that not helping people not be desperate and scared makes those problems worse. And that if you fucking reach out to people and help them, you can break horrible, tragic cycles. That's what Kamen Rider Ryuki is about. I can't say what Gaim is about because I also didn't finish it. I made it about halfway through that show, and then there's the bit where Takatora is talking to Kota about what is going on, and I genuinely got really excited. I thought the show was maybe turning around for me. But then he goes to Kota and is like, hey, you know that friend of yours that disappeared that you've been looking for this whole time? Yeah, you murdered him at the beginning of this show. Yeah, aren't we all doing bad, terrible things because we're in a bad situation? I'm like, that's not what fucking happened there. And then I got really mad about that and dropped the show. So I can't tell you what Gaim is about on a grand scale because I didn't get far enough for that. But Kamen Rider Ryuki is about breaking cycles of abuse and reaching out to help people who are caught in those terrible cycles to help pull them out. That's what Ryuki is about. The director of Amazons said that it was Ishinomori's vision. I don't think that's true. I think maybe that's a little presumptuous. And look, Amazons, I have mixed opinions on Amazons, but I at least watched all of season 1. And I wouldn't call it a bad show. I don't think it's what I wanted out of that show. So I have conflicting opinions on it, but I don't know if Ishinomori's vision is an accurate thing to call that show. The thing about Ryuki is that it was a very early Kobayashi work, and Yasuko Kobayashi... Hey, Toxen! The thing about Kobayashi is she... In her original works, she can tend to be very obtuse. If you look at her works as a whole, it is very clear what they are about. But you have to, like, sit down and really... Especially her early works, because once you hit stuff like O's, she starts getting a little more on the nose as far as her thesis statement. For what she is trying to accomplish. But especially in her earlier Heisei work, especially with Ryuki, Kobayashi can be a little obtuse. And she can still be very obtuse in kind of the more granular aspects of her later work. There is stuff about Den-O and O's and Tokyuger that are all... And especially Go Busters. But Go Busters had a lot of production meddling. That are all very obtuse, but she... You know, through making one show after another, she finds clarity in her storytelling. Which is true of all of the writers at Toei who have years and years and bodies of work where you can watch them grow as creators. But Kobayashi writes in such a way where she can be very obtuse. But I genuinely really love her work. I think she is maybe my second favorite of the Heisei era stable of writers. My favorite is Sho Aikawa. I love Sho Aikawa's work. But I deeply, deeply respect Yasuko Kobayashi. I have a deep, deep amount of respect for her and her work. And I'm glad she's making money doing JoJo now. I would not blame her if she does not ever go back to consistently writing and leading shows for Toei Tokusatsu. Because she doesn't need to. She doesn't need to. She's got that JoJo money now. She's been knocking it out of the park with JoJo for fucking years. She does not need Toei. I think that of the current writing team, Takahashi Yuya is the most. I mean, aside from Naruhisa Arakawa, who they still have, Inoue is a very. Inoue is a presence that exists. I like what he's doing with Don Brothers. I think he's doing a lot of really interesting shit with Don Brothers. So I like what he's got going on there. But Inoue is certainly. He's certainly Inoue. But of the newer writers, I do think Takahashi Yuya is probably the most talented one they've got. Komura Junko, I think, Komura Junko could make a Sentai that is absolutely fucking revolutionary if they would goddamn let her do it. But they just won't let her go all out. She's trying her damnedest, and they're holding her back. They're holding her back, and she deserves better. Lupot could have been amazing. It was good. It was a good show. It was not great. It was not as good as it could have been because they wouldn't let it be. Even Zyuohger, she tried. But I feel like Zyuohger, she just... Zyuohger was kind of the culmination of the Phase 2 Sentai stagnation. But I truly hope that they keep giving her chances to write Sentai, and that in the next year or 3, she will make something that is going to be an enduring classic in Sentai. She has it in her to do that. She has it in her to make something for Sentai that is truly special, and I really hope that she is able to get there. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. I just whacked my mic while reaching for my water bottle. I apologize. I will give Gaim this. Okay. This is the thing that I will give Gaim for nothing else. Gaim did break phase 2 Heisei Kamen Rider out of the cyclical pattern it was in. The first 4 riders of phase 2 Heisei, Double O's, Forze, and Wizard, are essentially the same show. And this is a complicated statement. They are, O's is an inversion of Double, Forze is an inversion of O's, and Wizard is an inversion of Forze. And this is not, how do I want to say this? They were iterating on elements of late phase 1 Heisei that were very, very successful in Double, that I think Toei was like, do this format again. And the plots of the shows and the tone of the shows and the theming of the shows and the message of those 4 shows are all very, very different. But if you strip all of that away, if you strip it down to the barest bones of a Kamen Rider, their somewhat supernatural partner, the girl that hangs out with them, and then the 4th member of the squad is the secondary rider who comes in roughly between halfway and a third of the way through the show. And that's this kind of, the barest bones of that framework is the same in all 4 of those shows. And it is them kind of inverting character tropes over and over and over in different ways. And I think that they could not have had that iteration successfully a 5th time in a row. Which I think kind of shows in the narrative weaknesses of Kamen Rider Drive, because Drive also sort of has that framework. They just take the partner aspect out and Chase is kind of his own other thing. But otherwise, it's still very much that same framework. And a lot of Drive's narrative weaknesses, I think, come from that. And the one thing that Gaim did was kind of at least crack that egg, so that once we got to the other side of Drive, they were willing to experiment more and let the structure of the cast get a little bit looser again. Also, Just Live More is a fucking bop. So there is that. Just Live More does absolutely fucking slap. Also, Orange Arms is one of my favorite Kamen Rider suits. Orange Arms is a beautiful fucking Kamen Rider suit. Zangetsu Melon Arms, also absolutely beautiful. So it's not like I have nothing positive to say about Gaim, I just am not a fan of the writing. The cast is great, all of the acting is incredible. It had a great cast. I just am not a fan of the writing. No, you don't? I don't know. I like Just Live More. The orchestral version of Just Live More is absolutely fucking gorgeous. I wish I had a playlist. I used to. Not on Spotify, but I used to on iTunes have a playlist of orchestral versions of Rider themes. And I wish I still did on Spotify. I wish I had that. Cuz that's what we would listen to during art streams. Cuz the orchestral versions of Kamen Rider openings are absolutely gorgeous. I have never seen any of the Gaim movies. The closest I have come is I have watched the wizard parts of the Wizard Gaim movie war. But I did not watch any of the Gaim bits. Oh no, I did watch all of the Gaim Drive movie war. So I have seen the Gaim parts of that. But Just Live More fucking slaps. Orange Arms is, I think, genuinely one of the most beautiful Heisei era Kamen Rider suits. That suit is fucking gorgeous. Melon Arms, also great. Melon Arms is also a beautiful suit. I love them both. I'm not super into any of the other Gaim suits. Some of them are fine, but I don't think any of them are quite as beautiful as Gaim Orange Arms. But, you know, I have some positive things to say about Gaim. I do think of the two Heisei Samurai shows, Shinkenger is the better one. But, you know, whatever. But I also don't have the attachment to Shinkenger that a lot of people have. I like Shinkenger a lot. But Shinkenger isn't one that, like, stuck with me. It isn't one that grabbed me the way that its predecessors of that era did. And Sentai eras are a wildly more complex thing than Kamen Rider eras. Even though I would personally break Heisei Kamen Rider into 4 parts instead of 2, but that's also just me. This is the hot takes and ramblings that you come here for. Okay, where are we? Okay, so we've got a lot of him done. I need to get like her legs in now. But honestly, I have a lot more opinions on Sentai than Kamen Rider. I love Kamen Rider, but I consider myself more of a Sentai person than a Rider person. I feel that there is a lot more Sentai that has had a long-term kind of sticking with me than Rider. Um, yeah, I mean, like, and again, like, the thing is, I still love Kamen Rider. I still fucking love it, and, like, I still fucking watch it every year. Like, I think it's just, Sentai, I think, has kind of. Sentai just it is more of a draw for me. I'm not sure why, it just is. Sometimes it just be like that. But, I love both of them. Checking. No, I just want to delete the ruler. There we go. I don't know. I don't know. I think the kind of ensemble nature of Sentai really appeals to me. And like the best Sentai are the ones that can really make that ensemble quality shine. Which is kind of the weird thing about Dawn Brothers is they have really made the ensemble quality of Sentai work in that show, even as they don't really feel like a team. It's quite strange. Akira Menai. Ruler. How long is this playlist? 4 hours? Okay, well, what are we at now? We're like 2 hours? 5, 6, 7? Okay. That seems like a good way to judge the length of the stream is to just go until we have returned to the Gridman opening. That should give me enough time to have some dinner before coming back. The part of me is like not even sure if I should also stream Palace of the Dead tonight. I kind of want to, but also I'm like, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm like missing part of the leg sketch. Where'd it go? How did that get turned off? How did that get turned off? I need that. Anywho, let's see. We're getting there. Getting there. So what's everyone's plans for the rest of the week? What's everyone got going on? I want to know. I want to know what's up. I want to know what's up. I don't know why Mix It Up keeps fucking flickering. No, hold on. Multiverses collab? Nice. I'm gonna be back on later tonight, with Toxan, doing Palace of the Dead. I'll be back with more art tomorrow. Friday we're doing, the Grahati Eat a Bag. And then Saturday, I will be on Captain Hurricane's charity donathon anniversary stream. And I think I'm canceling Sunday because I don't want to. I'm like hitting a wall, and I need to not do that. And then I'm not gonna do collabs for a little while. At least not planned ones. I may if I'm in the Minecraft server and people are on, I may hop in the voice channel there. Yeah, I mean like it's I do 4 days a week as it is, and I've added a lot of extra time to this week. So I'm not gonna do Sunday. Because I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do on Sunday anyway. It was either gonna be Minecraft or try Stray again. But I think I'm gonna take Sunday off to go hang out with a friend. And like get out of the house for a little bit. I think that will be good for me. I need to go touch grass for a little bit. So you ever just need to touch grass? You ever just gotta go touch grass? Like I am someone who genuinely needs to go outside for my mental health. So so I'm just gonna be going outside for my mental health. And hopefully next week I will be able to start contacting people about donathon stuff. That is, I've finally, I've got all the lists worked out. I just have to get in there, you know? So hopefully, I've also have to contact the manufacturer for the voice keychains. But that I will also do. Hopefully sometime this week, but definitely sometimes next week. But yeah, I just want to do something that is not. I want to do something non stream related with a friend that is not video games or tabletop. Just because, as much as I love that stuff, and I love doing it, it's like that is the only like downtime activity I have, and it's very scheduled and regimented, and I love it, but I want to do something else. Oh my god, Captain Hurricane! Captain's here, raiding me with all the urchins. They're all here. Hello. What were you up to? Captain, what were you doing? What were you doing? That's okay. I don't have a shout out command because I'm lazy. Ooh. VR Star Trek game. Fun. Well, thank you. Hello. 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 Mo's here. Hello. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? How are you doing? You been having a good day? Oh, thank you. Who threw that? I thought that was a save your work because it was the thing. Maru, why are you throwing things at me? Why are you throwing tiny fruits at me? I'm glad y'all doing okay. We're oh my god. I saved. Look, the button is grayed out because I did it. And I haven't put more fucking ink on the canvas. Mara and I do flirt like 6-year-olds. That is the way. Oh, are we getting tsundere? Are we getting tsundere about it? I am currently inking this shoe. This is what we're working on as a whole. This is about where we are with it. So we're just doing art. I'm just doing some unwinding with personal art. Because I've had this sitting around for a while. Okay, you take care, Wade. But yeah, I've had this sitting around a while, and I've got commissions to start, but I need to talk to people about them. So instead, I'm drawing the hot space people. Drawing very attractive space people. Cap, who else would I possibly be drawing but my beautiful wife Echidna and the hot scorpion boy that I want her to kiss? What other hot space people would I ever draw, Captain? Except Maru, who I think counts as a hot space person because she lives in a space colony. So I think it counts. I think technically it counts. I think she counts as a hot space person. I will let Maru weigh in as to whether or not she counts as hot space people. Yes. Maru was born in a space colony, so it counts. Yes, I am attractive being from the center of the earth. But we're just doing some Q Ranger fan art. Just for vibes. Just for vibes. You know? Sometimes you just need vibes. Yeah. Sometimes sometimes you just gotta. And today is one of those days. Cause I am mentally ill and nothing I did to try to fix that worked. So, here we are. Oh, go Kaiger. God. What a fucking work of art. Yes. You cannot let the monarchy harsh your mellow. God, Go Kaiger's so good. Let's go, let's go. Oh, that's why. That's why I turned that off. Because of the thing. Okay, there we go. Well, it can be off now. Yeah, well, look, sometimes you have vibes, and those vibes are absolute chaos. Sometimes the vibes just are chaos. We gotta work our way. We gotta keep following the scorpion tail down and draw this guy's butt. We gotta keep drawing the scorpion tail. We gotta draw Scorpio's butt. Man, y'all ever just think about how good Gokaiger is? Y'all ever just think about how fucking good Gokaiger is? I mean, I know you do, Cap. Like, God, it's just. Look, Cap, I also think about that quite frequently. I think about Marv Joe on the regs. Uh, them, them boys, they gonna kiss. And by gonna, I mean they just do a lot all the time. Look, the first episode of Gokaiger, is maybe a masterclass in how to start a narrative. It might be the most perfect first episode of anything. There is not a wasted second, not a wasted instant in that first episode of Gokaiger. Everything you need to know about that show, you are told in the first episode. It is a work of art. It is a masterclass. Okay. Yeah, I know this song. Okay. Let's go, pirates. I have to do some more contacting people. But there's also people that still haven't gotten back to me. God, I really need to watch that era of Sentai, like that, the ones in that verse that are all on Shout Factory. I mean, I've watched Zyuranger and Dairanger. I need to watch the other ones from that era. It was a weird era of Sentai. Fucking, just a fucking weird ass era of Sentai. I've watched a little bit of Kaku Ranger. I've watched like 4 or 5 episodes. Dairanger is really good, but it goes absolutely fucking buck wild in the last like I don't know, maybe the last like quarter, just absolutely fucking wild. Dairanger is a time. Yeah, the three of them, there's a lot going on with the three of them in a lot of different respects. Um there is there is so much going on with the three of them, holy shit. Yeah. Um and the lady of the three of them is just an absolute chaos lesbian. I don't know if you got to I don't know how far you got, so I don't know if you got to Kujaku, but damn. Okay, I'm gonna save. I'm very tired. I'm just gonna we're gonna take a break for a minute. Okay, yeah, I don't think you got to Kujaku. She's a little bit she's I forget exactly when she shows up, but it takes a little bit. Uh, I mean, look, we all a little chaos lesbian here. Okay, so I've gotten a good way through the inking of the two of them, which is the hard part. Magica, 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 showtime. Damn, if I can pull another like half hour out, if I can get another half hour out of myself, I think 3 hours would be good, and then I can lay down for an hour, eat dinner, and then come back for Palace of the Dead. But damn, my energy levels. I did go for a walk earlier. I went for a walk before stream, and didn't didn't help my mental state as much as I would like, but it did at least get some of my energy out. I gotta do something about this leg isn't right. I think I actually need to like move this over a little bit. Yes, Maru, guess what? What are you gonna have for dinner? Get something good. Get something tasty. Get something tasty for dinner. I'm gonna. I want to get to at least 3 hours though, so I need to get like another half an hour in. I think I am gonna BRB quick. Ooh, I don't know. That still sounds good. That still sounds good. But one day we're gonna be able to do an off collab, and I'll cook for you. One day. But I do think I am gonna BRB for a minute, so I can take just a little step away, just a little step away for a minute for as Mara would put it, an idle break. So I will be right back. Okay, be right back.
Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee.
And like my friend was like, "Oh, I saw this booth that had all these grahas," and like pointed me toward it. And I went up to them. I went up to this booth, and I looked at them. I looked the artist dead in the eyes. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Give me every graha you've got." And they're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want all of them." So if you then come this way, over the bridge, this will bring you down to the beach and the graveyard, where I bury my enemies. No, I don't want to become famous. I just want to be hot. Oh no, what's going on in Game Freak? Who's freaking the games? I didn't put a tea bag in this tea. Y'all, I've been drinking sugar water for the past 3 hours. I didn't put a tea bag in this. What the fuck? Oh hey, it's Flick. He's here. Neat. But we're not catching bugs. We're catching girlfriends. Excuse me, sir. Just because I wear jorts does not make me a monster. The scorpion tail makes me a monster.
Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee.
And like, my friend was like, oh, I saw this booth that had all these grahas, and like pointed me toward it. And I went up to them. I went up to this booth. And I looked at them. I looked the artist dead in the eyes. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, give me every graha you've got. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I want all of them. So if you then come this way, over the bridge, this will bring you down to the beach and the graveyard, where I bury my enemies. No, I don't want to become famous. I just want to be hot. Oh no, what's going on at Game Freak? Who's freaking the games? I didn't put a tea bag in this tea. Y'all, I've been drinking sugar water for the past 3 hours. I didn't put a tea bag in this. What the fuck? Oh hey, it's Flick. He's here. Neat. But we're not catching bugs. We're catching girlfriends. Excuse me, sir. Just because I wear jorts does not make me a monster. The scorpion tail makes me a monster.
Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee.
And like, my friend was like, oh, I saw this booth that had all these grahas, and like pointed me toward it. And I went up to them. I went up to this booth. And I looked at them. I looked the artist dead in the eyes. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, give me every graha you've got. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I want all of them. So if you then come this way, over the bridge, this will bring you down to the beach and the graveyard, where I bury my enemies. No, I don't want to become famous. I just want to be hot. Oh no, what's going on at Game Freak? Who's freaking the games? I didn't put a tea bag in this tea. Y'all, I've been drinking sugar water for the past 3 hours. I didn't put a tea bag in this. What the fuck? Oh hey, it's Flick. He's here. Neat. But we're not catching bugs. We're catching girlfriends. Excuse me, sir. Just because I wear jorts does not make me a monster. The scorpion tail makes me a monster.
Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee.
And like, my friend was like, oh, I saw this booth that had all these grahas, and like pointed me toward it. And I went up to them. I went up to this booth. And I looked at them. I looked the artist dead in the eyes. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Give me every graha you've got." And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I want all of them. So if you then come this way, over the bridge, this will bring you down to the beach and the graveyard, where I bury my enemies. No, I don't want to become famous. I just want to be hot.
Oh no, what's going on at Game Freak? Who's freaking the games?
I didn't put a tea bag in this tea. Y'all, I've been drinking sugar water for the past 3 hours. I didn't put a tea bag in this. What the fuck? Oh hey, it's Flick. He's here. Neat. But we're not catching bugs. We're catching girlfriends.
Excuse me, sir. Just because I wear jorts does not make me a monster. The scorpion tail makes me a monster. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee.
And like, my friend was like, "Oh, I saw this booth that had all these grahas," and like pointed me toward it. And I went up to them. I went up to this booth. And I looked at them. I looked the artist dead in the eyes. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Give me every graha you've got." And they're like, Are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I want all of them. So if you then come this way, over the bridge, this will bring you down to the beach and the graveyard, where I bury my enemies. No, I don't want to become famous. I just want to be hot.
Oh no, what's going on at Game Freak? Who's freaking the games?
I didn't put a tea bag in this tea. Y'all, I've been drinking sugar water for the past 3 hours. I didn't put a tea bag in this. What the fuck? Oh hey, it's Flick. He's here. Neat. But we're not catching bugs. We're catching girlfriends.
Excuse me, sir. Just because I wear jorts does not make me a monster. The scorpion tail makes me a monster. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee.
And like, my friend was like, "Oh, I saw this booth that had all these grahas," and like pointed me toward it. And I went up to them. I went up to this booth. And I looked at them. I looked the artist dead in the eyes. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "Give me every graha you've got." And they're like, Are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I want all of them. So if you then come this way, over the bridge, this will bring you down to the beach and the graveyard, where I bury my enemies. No, I don't want to become famous. I just want to be hot.
Oh no, what's going on at Game Freak? Who's freaking the games?
I didn't put a tea bag in this tea. Y'all, I've been drinking sugar water for the past 3 hours. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I'm back. Husband, thank you so much for the raid! Oh my goodness! Thank you so much! Welcome! I'm sorry I was gone, for a couple minutes there. Sorry about that. But I'm back, I'm here. Oh my goodness! Husband, thank you so much for the raid! What were you doing? What were you doing? Did you have a good stream? Did you have a good stream? What were you up to? We're just gonna chat for a bit. I'm gonna switch this to just chatting. We're gonna switch this to just chatting for a while. Oh my goodness, well welcome everyone. I am Sonomikan, former supervillainess, working on my redemption arc. I am helping the heroes that I used to fight against. And in between trying to help them save the world, I stream art and games. Which is usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday at 3 Eastern. Today I'm gonna be ending a little earlier than usual, and I'll be back around 8 p.m. Eastern to do Palace of the Dead in Final Fantasy XIV. And then Sunday we don't have a stream this week. But Friday, if you like Final Fantasy XIV, I'm going to be putting together a Grahatia Ida bag on Friday. But we're still gonna be here. We're still gonna be here for a little bit today. Just for a little while longer. A little while. So how is everyone? How are you? What is going on? What is going on? How are you doing? Yeah, Mario, you got some chicken? Got some chicken? Delicious. Delicious. Husband, thank you so much for the raid. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Y'all so sweet. Y'all are just so sweet. I love you so much. I do. I do. I love you so much. So much. To be fair, that's how I handle most situations. That's how I do things. I'm gonna drink some more water. I feel like I've been a little dehydrated lately, which is mostly because it's been so goddamn hot out that I've just been, like, non-functional. Like, okay. I have eaten cold soba for 3 out of my last 5 meals. That is how fucking hot it's been. That the other day, I just made an entire fucking package of soba. And I ate cold soba for 3 of my last 5 meals. Because it was just so fucking hot out that I couldn't deal with the concept of cooking. Like, I just couldn't deal with it. Cold soba is good, though. It was really good. I made mensuyu from scratch. I made mensuyu from scratch, and I still have a bunch of it. So I need to find something to put it in, because I have, like, 3/4 of a cup of it left. Mawu! Mawu. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But yeah. 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 What? My cat's making noise. I don't know if y'all can hear him making noises because he's, like, all the way over there, so he's pretty far from where the microphone is right now. Why do I... That's okay, we don't have to be say-so here. I say swear words all the time. I don't say super lewd stuff, though. I'm actually, like, very not lewd, in spite of, you know, looking like this. But I don't know why I just, like, came back in close. There was really no reason for that. Yeah, look. Titty is just a thing that exists, and we all have to accept that. Oh, my tummy hurts. Oh, oh, here we go. Oh, there I am. Hi. Hi, everybody. Hello. I'm Citrus. I am a being of light that got photosynthesized by Sonomikan. But hi, how's it going? How's it going? I know that my voice sounds different and sounds just like Sonomikan's, but that's because I can project myself over her. So we have the same voice. It's just like that. But what's up? What's up? How are you guys doing? That's how I'm able to fit in her house, by the way, is because I can project myself kind of on top of her. Because normally I am a giant of light, so I can't, normally just fit in her house, you know? But how is it going? What is up? Hi. Hello. Hi! Little hedgehog. Little hedgehog guy. Hi. What's up? That's fair. That's fair. You really helped me get going with the moving around and stuff. Look at this. Look at all this moving around I can do. Look at this. Yeah, I'm really big. I mean, like, you know, by ultras by giant of light standards, I'm not, you know, that tall, but you know, compared to stuff that lives on Earth, I'm pretty big. I'm pretty large. So because of Miss Mikan's transformation abilities, I can be the size of a thing on Earth. But I'm a bit large generally. Hi Maru. Hi. Hi. I can be giant. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Now I'm big. Now I'm big. I had to go outside. Oh, this is all still here. There we go. There we go. Now I'm big. Now I'm my normal giant size. Oh, and I guess now I gotta go. Now I gotta go. Bye. To go back here. Okay, I'm back. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, she just stopped in. She stops in sometimes. She's here. We all love Citrus. She's cool. She's cool. She's better at the hero things than me. She's better at heroics. Oh yeah. Yeah, she has a color timer. Cap did an amazing job animating that, and I was able to set it up so that it goes off when the model's gonna switch back. It's very funny. It's very cool. I may well no, I can't. I wanna be able to set it up where it does an actual rise sequence, but I have to actually like make a rise sequence first. Yes, I didn't have that set up during the donathon, I think, but I did for the model swap redeem, I have it set up so that the color timer goes off for I think like 10 seconds before I switch back. Cause I mean, like, look, if I'm gonna have a color timer, I might as well use it, right? Like, if it's gonna be there, I might as well use it. It might as well serve its actual function. Yeah. So, I think it's 3 minutes, then the timer goes off for 10 seconds, and then it switches back. She is a proper functioning giant of light. I'm so glad that she went over so well, because I've been planning that for a while. I think I had the model ready in like January or December, and then I'd been planning it before that. Yes, brand safe giant of light. I'm trying not to get sued. But she's, y'all know what the U stands for. But I'm so thrilled to have her functional and going. I still want something Rider-esque, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that yet. Because that was kind of initially my goal. As I transitioned over to being a Sentai villainess, and then I started planning for Citrus, and I was like, I wanna cover the big three. I want to be able to have the big three covered across my plans for models. But I've not quite figured out how I want to handle something Rider-esque. But I think my next big plan is going to be the actual Kaijin, my Kaijin model. So I have to finish designing that at some point. But first we're gonna do the Magical Girl outfit. We're gonna do that. Maybe that's what we'll draw tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we will design a Magical Girl outfit. Because that is what y'all decided during the Donathon. So yeah, we will. I think maybe tomorrow we will go in and we will start designing the Magical Girl. What would my Magical Girl weapon be? Probably, I don't know. See, like, my only weapon right now is my tail. I don't have like a weapon otherwise. And I feel like because of the tail, a whip would be redundant. I feel like a whip would be redundant because of the tail. Because it already does the thing. So it might be like a combination of Symphogear punching and magic. Could do a Shepherd's Crook that is a scorpion tail? Oh, if my tail turns into like a Pluto staff? Maybe. Though the idea of my tail detaching from my body is kind of horrifying. So, that's a little scary. The idea of my tail detaching from my body is a little scary. But... That's true. That's true. If it's good enough for Dragon Caesar, then it's good enough for me. I mean, like, look, who am I? Who am I to say that I'm better than fucking Dragon Caesar? You know? Like, he's fucking Dragon Caesar. Like, he's classic. Classic. You know? He do like to dance to that flute. Oh my, oh. Now I just remembered the bit, like, after Burai, where he's just there and sad. There's, like, a good 2 or 3 episodes where Dragon Caesar is just, like, really fucking sad, and I'm like, what? We can't just be, you can't just make the giant fucking dinosaur man be sad! Jesus! God! He's just fucking sad! He's just out there being fucking sad! Like, what the fuck? Yeah, he's a little bit Mechagodzilla with the cereals filed off, but he's Dragon Caesar! He's Dragon Caesar, and he's fucking cool. Fucking... They didn't do also, like, fucking, Daijujin? The Zoo robots are so fucking cool, and also are the literal biblical god. Not Dragon Caesar, but the other 5. The other 5 are apparently just literal, like, as a combination, just the literal biblical god. Zoo Ranger is a really fucking weird show. It's very strange. Literal biblical god, these 5 dinosaurs are the one literal biblical god. Sure. Okay. Zoo Ranger's a weird one. I love it. It's really good. Really fucking strange. Deeply fucking strange show. Yeah, no, God wasn't a dinosaur. God was 5 dinosaurs. 5. God is 5 dinosaurs. That's... Sometimes it just be like that. Man, I am almost done. I'm really confused by Ultraman Rube. I really like it. I don't know why people who are into Ultraman are so, like, down about Rube. But I'm, like, 5 episodes from the end, and Grigio hasn't happened yet, and I'm really, like, damn, where is she? But something Mosasaurus. Yes. Though there isn't one of those in Z-Ring. I don't know if they had been discovered at the time. I don't know when they were discovered, because there is one in Ryu Soldier. But there's not one in Z-Ranger. Though Z-Ranger, you know, that was a different era of Sentai when they didn't have, like, a bunch of ancillary extra robots, because they did not have the fucking money for that shit back then. They did not have the money to CGI in 5 to 7 extra dinosaurs. So, I don't know, maybe they did and they just didn't have the need for one. Because I don't think there was one in Kyoryuger. I don't think there was one in Kyoryuger, but there is one in Ryu Soldier. I feel like Goanger... Well, no, Bokenger had vehicles 6 through 10. So maybe it was Bokenger that really started that. Oh no, Abba Ranger had the extra dinosaurs. Abba Ranger had a shit ton of extra dinosaurs, and Gao Ranger had the secondary power animals. So maybe it does go back a little further to the beginning of Heisei Sentai. I'm not very well versed in things pre-Abba Ranger. So, you know. But thinking about it, Abba Ranger did have a handful of extra dinosaurs. And Gal Ranger had extra power animals. Okay, so it does go back that far. I haven't seen. I've only seen the first maybe like 8, somewhere between 5 to 8 episodes of Kaku Ranger. Um, I need to get back to it. One day. One day I'll get back there. I will fucking buy the I know I can like stream it for free on Shout Factory, but one day I'll just buy the fucking DVDs and sit down with my DVD player and really get in there. Really get into that early Heisei Sentai. That 90s era Sentai. I guess you can basically split Heisei Sentai into 4 parts. You got like 90s, 2000s, or maybe 3 parts. 2000s and then 2010s. So you've got like, hi, Senpai Slytherin. What do you? I am confused, but welcome. Welcome. Would prefer you didn't make addiction jokes here, but you know, hope you're having a good one. Anyway, what was I talking about? So yeah, like 90s Sentai, 2000 Sentai, so like I guess Gal Ranger, like and then 2010 Sentai, which I would say that Go Busters, and Go Busters is like 2011. So yeah. So I think like Galra. I mean, like I really think of Abba Ranger to Go Sager as, or like Abba Ranger to Go Kaiger as a very specific era of Sentai that I then kind of divide in half. Is it 2012? I thought it started. Oh, it might have started at like the end of 2011. Was it 2011 to 2012 or was it 2012 to 2013? Oh wow. Okay, so it is 2012 to 20. It's the beginning of 2012. Okay. I don't know. It's just it's hard to say that Go Kaiger is not the end of its era of Sentai. Because, like, Go Kaiger is such a capstone, especially on the 2000s era of Sentai. It's really a culmination of all of that. And I know that, obviously, it also references Showa Sentai, obviously, because it goes through the entire fucking 34 years that preceded it, but so much of the narrative structure is built upon what Arakawa and Kobayashi and Aikawa were all doing in Sentai in the 2000s. And Aikawa really brought it all together in Gokaiger in 2011. So it's hard to think of Gokaiger as the start of a new, like, Go Busters is really the start of a new era of Sentai that was not an amazing era of Sentai, but was still good. There's still many good shows and good moments and all within the Go Busters to Lupot era of Sentai. Or maybe Go Busters to Ryu Soldier. It's hard to think of Ryu Soldier as the end of that. Honestly, I think Kira Major is the end of that era. And Zenkaiger was kind of even though Zenkaiger is in the same way very much a Gokaiger-esque anniversary season, I really see Zenkaiger as the start of a new era of Sentai. as opposed to the way that Gokaiger was the end of an era of Sentai. It's complex. It's a little confusing, but Zenkaiger is just so different and still so tied now to Dawn Brothers that, I mean, like, technically Reiwa Sentai, I think, starts with Kira Major, but I think Kira Major is maybe the last of that type of the 2000s type of Sentai. I think it's really, unless they, I mean, we'll have to see going forward, but it's hard to think of Kira Major as more tied to Zenkaiger and Dawn Brothers than like Ryu Soldier and Lupot and everything that came before it. I don't know. These are just, it's an interesting thing to think about. Where Heisei, where Kamen Rider is very, very clearly delineated. Like the least clear thing is, I guess, Kamen Rider Black, though I do think Black is technically Showa. Though it may be like the very beginning. Because I feel like Heisei, the Heisei era began in 1990. And Black RX were in 88 and 89. So they are Showa. Okay, so Black RX like extends into, I'm gonna still call it Showa then, because it starts in the Showa era. And of course, like, I don't know, there's the very clean delineation of, you've got Showa era Kamen Rider that goes from original Rider through Black RX. And then you've got Kuga to Decade as phase 1, Double to Zio as phase 2, and then you've got 0-1 forward now for Reiwa. Though I also I actually consider Heisei Kamen Rider to be 4 periods. You've got Kuga to Hibiki, Kabuto to Decade, Double to Gaim, and then Drive to Zio. As these, for me, I think you can divide Heisei into those 4 distinct eras. But, you know, phase 1 and phase 2 is fine. It doesn't have to be a 4-phase thing. I just consider it to be. And then, but I don't know. I'd say, I think, you know, like Time Ranger to Gokaiger, you could consider kind of a same era alongside, and it extends a little past phase 1 Heisei, but then, you know, Go Busters to Kira Major, and then Zenkaiger and Dawn Brothers are the start of the new 3rd era of, or I guess the 4th era of Sentai. Or maybe there's 5. Maybe like the really early, I don't know a lot about fucking Sentai prior to Gao Ranger. I've watched Zoo Ranger and Dai Ranger and a tiny bit of Kaku Ranger, so it's hard for me to really classify those eras the way I can with Gao Ranger forward, because the only one I haven't seen in there is Hurricaneger and Ninja, which I'll go back and watch Ninja one day. It's just not a priority. But, you know. But, and then, you've got your Ultramans. There's some who'd argue the first two count as a different era because it was just Sentai then, not Super Sentai. I guess you could say that. There are people that could argue that, but I feel like, so much of the... it's hard for me to say. I consider it more of a structural thing, and I do not know how much Go Ranger and Jacka are structurally different from, like, Battle Fever J and Denji Man. And, they were definitely figuring out the formula, because they were just starting. It's how it is. But, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to say without those still... Because so much early Sentai still, to this day, is kind of inaccessible. I know some of it's out there, but I don't know how much of it is well subbed, if subbed at all. Though, Tokusatsu said they got 5-man? 5-man is the next one they're putting out. So hopefully what they will do is they'll do 5-man, and then Aba Ranger, and then Turbo Ranger, and then Deca Ranger. I really want to watch Jacka, and I do have it. I have it in the depths of my hard drives. I just haven't, never quite got around to it. But I'm kind of hoping that, Shout Factory alternates between, like, going backwards and going forwards in Sentai, and I hope... It would be nice if we got, like, 2 a year, one of the older ones and one of the newer ones. I still need to go back and buy the Sentai box sets that they have out already. But there's so much of them! We're so close. Aba Ranger is literally the next one they would be doing going forward in the timeline. Like, we are literally ass up against Deca Ranger. So, I'm very hopeful I would lose my shit to be able to buy physical Bokenger DVDs. I do still kind of want to buy the actual Japanese Bokenger DVDs for the extras that were on them. But, whatever. It's fine. I mean, at this point, it does seem like they are releasing things. I don't know about 5-man. I don't remember if 5-man was DVD or Blu-ray, but they're releasing Rider on Blu-ray, and, like, Kuga is on Blu-ray, so they should be able to put Deca Ranger on Blu-ray. Unless, like, the masters are gone, which I don't think they would, because Deca Ranger has always been kind of a moneymaker. So I can't imagine that Toei lost the fucking Deca Ranger masters. So, hopefully Blu-rays. Hoping. Would love to see it. So yeah, if they do Deca, then it will be Blu-rays. If they do Deca, it'll probably... If they start moving forward again... I can't remember... See, the thing is, I can't remember if 5-man was DVD or Blu-ray when they announced it. I genuinely don't remember. I'm gonna do a quick Google. Okay, 5-man is DVD, it seems. 5-man is DVD. Based on the pre-order on their website. But probably Deca Ranger, like, everything going forward, I assume would be Blu-ray at this point. Yeah, I don't know if they've... Bokenger Blu-ray. Blu-ray.com has is Bokenger listed? Oh, no, releases DVD. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, it only lists a DVD release for Bokenger. So who knows? But I have to imagine that if Shout Factory can release that stuff on Blu-ray, they would want to. Like, for older stuff, I just imagine that, it's so old that there's no point in releasing it on Blu-ray. Like, the quality is not there in the masters to release it on Blu-ray, that there's just no point. But going forward from that, I have to imagine if they can, they will. Yes, good night, Maru. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. Rest up. Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming. You rest up. You rest up. I love you very much. I mean, like, the only thing about releasing it on Blu-rays is that, yeah, that is, I mean, who knows with Toei. But, I think it's very possible that we might, if Deca Ranger has Blu-rays, we might get Blu-rays. Part of me wonders if they would not want to let Shout Factory release Blu-rays for stuff that was not available on Blu-ray in Japan to avoid import. Like, reverse importing it. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Yeah, like, I know a lot of films are, just because film is a wild thing. But yeah, I think maybe to avoid reverse import, they might. But I don't know, maybe then they'll go release them on Blu-rays. Oh, that reminds me. Was Geki Ranger ever released on Blu-ray? Doesn't look like it. Because I was wondering, during Kira Major, Kira May Green she's a track athlete, who is sponsored by the athletics company that is the front for the Geki Rangers. She is sponsored by Scratch. And there's an episode that has Miki from Geki Ranger and her daughter Natsume, and there is a good, like, full minute recap of everything that happens in Geki Ranger. And I'm like, why is this here? I love Geki Ranger. I was fucking hyped for that episode, and it's a really good episode. But I'm like, why is this such a thing? Why are we devoting so much time in this episode to a literal Geki Ranger clip show? Are you selling Blu-rays? Are you going to release Geki Ranger on Blu-ray and you want the kids to get into Geki Ranger? I wonder if the reverse import thing is the reason why so much anime merch made outside of Japan is so... It's possible. Though I know a lot made outside of... Well, I don't know about a lot. And an amount made outside of Japan is also, like, not official. Though there is some, and I don't know, I think some of it might be that reverse import thing. Because that was a problem with DVDs for a while, because DVDs in Japan were so expensive that when stuff was getting released over here, it was legitimately cheaper to buy a US DVD and import it back to Japan than just buy a Japanese DVD. And I think it was the same for Blu-ray when that started up. And I'm not like hyper well versed in this sort of thing. But yeah, I do not know the reason. The reason is a mystery to me. But I do know that was a problem for a while. Like, that was a legitimate issue for a hot minute. I do still really want the actual, like, Japanese Bokender box set, though. I wanna rip the extras off of those and give it to some people who will subtitle it. But it's like $300, and I've never hit a moment in time where I had the money to spare for it. But they're out there. They're out there, and maybe one day I'll acquire them. Perhaps one day. I don't know. Anyway, weird. I think we may raid out. I kind of want to lay down for a little bit and then eat. I will be back at 8. I will be back on at 8 p.m. If you want to come back, I will be back at 8 p.m. running Palace of the Dead in Final Fantasy XIV. So if you want to come back, you want to hang out then, I would be very happy to be back with you. But I think for now, we are going to raid Tally. We are going to raid Tally, who is also doing some art. Tally's really good at art, so you should go see Tally. We're going to raid Tally. I love y'all very, very, very much. I will see you back at 8 o'clock. I will see you then. I'm love you. I love you very much.